Hello, I'm Andy, and today I want to share a full game of Japanese with the bank boom build order. This time I'm playing against something aggressive, so I deliberately asked MFD to play Haudenoshine and do a rush, so just so you can see how you would defend a rush. And I just want to talk a bit more in detail about the thought processes in this game and the build order, and this is what I'm going to do now. So firstly, with Japanese you always want to use one of your rickshaws to scout the map a bit more. This is especially good if there is livestock on the map, which on this map there isn't, but it's also good just to spot the treasures and the hunts. And what you would do, you would just spawn the edge, scout the edges of the map, and yeah, so this is something you would do. Then you would also, usually you would only build one shrine at the start and a marketplace and research the food upgrade in the market, and then you would hope, or you would search for wood and coin treasures, and with the wood treasure you can then build a second shrine. And also the same is true for a coin treasure. So with a coin treasure you can just buy wood, and this means you can also build a second shrine. And this is what you want to do. On this map there are a lot of treasures, also a lot of wood treasures, and I've been lucky enough to find a wood treasure, so I'm happy with that. Other than that, there is not really much going on in H1, so you would just send all your villagers to food. You want to also get some food treasure, so you would age up a bit faster. But all things considered, it's just pretty regular standard stuff. You would also send the 2 villagers, and you wouldn't usually get the heavenly kami. And yeah, so that's CH1. Against aggressive civilizations, you would also use the Torii gates as to ageup. So Torii gates is good for a number of reasons. First off, you get a samurai, which in itself is not too threatening, but it's at least a unit, and it can be pretty threatening to cavalry or something. So it's still a unit, and it still gives you some support, or it helps out a little bit. Yeah, then you of course you get the barracks wagon, barracks rickshaw, and this is important, so you can build a barracks. And of course the Torii gates means that you will get more experience, especially when you kill units, but also when you train units and when you build stuff. So what will usually happen against aggression? You will kill units, and this means you get more shipments, and with the shipments you can then send more stuff. And so it's especially super helpful if you are just getting a lot of experience, and you will get a lot of experience if you fight, and you will fight a lot if someone wants to kill you. So this is why the Torii gates is generally a good wonder if you think you are going to be under pressure, or if you want to be aggressive. If you would want to boom, then it's typically not the best wonder. So against Haudenoshine, they do have one of the fastest rushes, so they can get out units very quickly, and they can be in your face very fast, and it's very potent. So you have to be aware of that. You will see later that I underestimated it about how fast they can be and how many units they can get out to really put on the pressure on you. But yeah, you'll see later. So for now, I'm just getting the Torii gates. I'm gathering enough wood for a consulate. I want to use the consulate so I can get my Dutch allies, and with the Dutch allies I want to get the bank. So for this reason I'm sending the 300 export. Once the 300 export arrive, I will get my Dutch allies. So you typically want to wait until the 300 export arrives. That means you are getting the allies for 25 export only, and you have enough export to ship the bank back. So at this point I also probably overgathered a bit of wood, and I also probably should have skipped the market upgrades. It was a bit greedy, so especially because I know he's being aggressive. So I probably should have just focused on getting more units out early. So because this is what I'm talking about. So there will be a lot of units in your face very early, and yeah, it's just pretty hard to deal with if you play too greedy like me. Also, one more mistake I made was that I sent 600 wood, and 600 wood is not something which will help me. So it's usually something I would send so I can get out my shrines and stuff, but it doesn't help me at all in this case. I also think that he should have probably forced the fight there with his Kenya Riders against my 4 Ashigarus. So with the Kenya Riders he would have snared my units, and he might have lost 1 or 2, but he would have killed all my units. And that would have probably been worth it. Yeah, but other than that, I'm just wanting to keep my units alive really, and get some numbers out. So in hindsight, I should have probably sent the 5 Ashigarus first, to really help me defend this push. I was pretty confident with the bank wagon. I think the bank is actually pretty hard to kill. Bank wagon is pretty tanky, and it builds very fast and has a lot of hit points. So if you're not popping it right on units, you will usually be fine. And then yeah, now I do have a decent economy still. So I also like all my TC's idle now still. But other than that, yeah, the threat looks a bit over. So he still has more units, but my economy is better, and my bank is out. My villagers, I mean, I might lose some villagers, but it is annoying. I think it's just not the end of the world, just because as long as I have enough units to not die right here and keep my Ashigarus alive, then I can afford to lose some villagers, because Japanese eco is better either way. So I'm fine with trading villagers for his tempo, basically. I also, of course, made the wrong militia, like I always do. I wanted to do the gunpowder one, and with the militia and the 5 Ashigarus shipment, which I sent a second time, I'm able to defend this push basically. And at this point, my economy, it's not great. Like, Japan could have a better economy at this point, of course, but then it would have died to this push usually. And with the bank, yeah, if the bank basically usually means that you only need like 1 or 2 more villagers on coin to sustain the Ashigaru production, and you really only need your shrines on wood for wood production, so you can use all your villagers on food where you have all the upgrades on, and that means you are pretty good to go, and yeah, it's not very hard to macro actually, so it's not very hard to play, I think, from this point on. So from this point on, I think I've won, so I'm just going to I just go raiding, kill a bit of villagers, wait until I have a mass, and then once I have a mass, I'm just going to force the issue, because I have more resources. Eventually I will get more units. Ashigarus are very expensive for the firepower they put out, so you you need to be a bit patient with them and just yeah, go raid and stuff, because they're a bit faster, so you can afford to do that. And also, like, I only put my shrines on wood, and this is enough for me to boom good enough to, and also not get housed. So yeah, that's good. At this point I also could send the 4 villagers, so you're really open, like how you want to play it. If you want to finish it, you can send more Ashigaru cards or the daimyo like I did. If you want to play it longer, you can just send economy like the villagers. At some point soon, you would have to send the cherry blossoms card, so your villagers can still gather food. But really, you're pretty open. And at this point, like once my army is big enough, so the economy really kicked in. My army is big enough, I can just walk over. Let's just see the last fight. And finish the game, basically, just like Japan likes to do it. And this is basically how you would play this against an aggressive civilization, like how they know. I think how they know is one of the most aggressive civilization. Usually you get away with the 600 wood shipment. I think in this game though, against how they know, I can't against this heavy of aggression early on. I should have probably started with Ashigaru, so in hindsight that would have probably been the right decision. And I also should have skipped market upgrades, at least right at the start, and should have waited until I get some stuff out, because they really didn't do much once my... So market updates, market upgrades actually are pretty useless if your villagers are forced into UTC. So I think that's pretty obvious. Yeah, so this is the build order, and I hope you can work with that. I think it's a fun one. It's a decent build order. I think it's probably my go-to against aggressive civilizations, because it's easy to play for me, so you don't have to micro much, and it's pretty safe, and you have a lot of options. So that's why I think it's decent. So thanks for watching, and see you guys around. Bye bye.